forward to. Now, normally I would not do a monologue before a review video. Never, never, never. But since it's about early to mid-October, in about just under 2 weeks, is arguably the biggest model show in South Island. The Great Little Train Show. Now, it's in my hometown, and it's hosted by the same group who built this layout. The Model Engineers, or to be specific, Southland Society of Model Engineers. Now, if I get the permission to do so, because it never hurts to ask, and also saves me getting in trouble, because I got a comment from one of my modeling mates who watched one of my videos, kind of on the borderlines of rudeness in my last video, because I forgot to ask permission if I could film. In all fairness though, I was mainly filming the trains. I did not mean to film the people. So, mass apologies to those who were accidentally filmed. I do apologize. And now back to the main subject, which would be the train show. Like I said, if I can and do get the permission to do so, I will be showing clips and maybe taking pictures of the vast number of layouts and the trains at the show, if I can find time to do so, because setup day is very, very busy, but it's just a wait and see type setup, really. Now, also, if I do get an okay to do so, and I'm really clutching at straws on this one, I might get permission to do sort of mini interviews with the people behind the layouts. A couple of which I'll ask politely next time it's a model club night here. So yeah, should be interesting. Oh, and one more thing. After the model show, and this is actually a hint of an upcoming video I'm working on, I might, keyword, might, have a bit of a YouTube special due to the fact that there's a sudden surge of a type of rolling stock going on here in New Zealand, and I might have in my possession, by the time this video is about maybe a week or two old, I might have in my possession some very interesting rolling stock in a train pack. I'm not going to give any hints. I'm not going to give any hints on what it is. All I'm going to say is it's luxurious, and it's in a beautiful umber and cream. At least I think it's umber. But yeah. And yeah, I think that should be it for the monologue. Dear apologies for pretty much killing about 5 minutes of time between the start credits and the actual video. Sorry about that, folks. But I had something to get off my chest, and well, I just said my piece, so thank you all for putting up with my bushwhack. And please do enjoy the review video. Thank you for waiting. Enjoy. Righto, up on onwards here. Now, I finally got myself the new wiring in the layout. Thankfully, it was something I was meaning to do for a long time. And while doing it, I would also got myself a little extra bit of work to do, putting new sidings over there. And quickly, just to show what the wire was, this. Black and red for the power of the track, and as for the brown, orange, and yellow, I'm thinking of using that for points. Wouldn't be a silly idea. Now, as the main subject of this video is, and as of course it says in the description below, this is a review video, and here it is. The Bachmann N Class mixed traffic loco. Normally, this is actually my first pre-bulleted southern locomotive. I'm not counting the Terrier, because that was Stroudley, and in all fairness though, I think this one was built during the Southern Railway era, so beggars can't be choosers. But let's see here. Running number 31862. BR black. Slope side tender. Don't know if the camera's got that or not. So, let's get it unboxed and on the layout. Okay, let's get this loco out of the box. Now for this bit, I'm actually going to have to swap an idea from Sam's Trains, which is unboxing it on the floor. So, just bear with me, it's going to be hard kind of doing this one-handed. Now, this is actually the old style packaging. Before we continue on, this is the old style packaging from Bachmann, and it's the blue ribbon type. So I have no clue what's with that. I really have no clue, but they make good locos, so I can't argue. All right, here we go. One-handed ain't as hard as I thought it was. Just got to get my knee out. All right, now there's the loco and its polystyrene pack. Now, due to whole economical reasons, manufacturers rarely do polystyrene these days, which is understandable. And here we go. The wee leaflet with the history on the back and a nice drawing of the locomotive. Just to hold it there so you can pause the video and have a quick read if you like. Okay. Now for the fun bit, which is getting all the paperwork out. And a little fun fact, this is actually the most complete locomotive I ever bought, ever. I thought my Ivit Class 2 was good, but this, I literally had to run it in. It was that factory fresh, and it's such an old model too. It is nuts. Detail pack and everything is just untouched. Alright. Now here we go, exploded diagram. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's all there. And by the looks of the diagram, oh crud. No fake coal. Oh well, I always enjoyed adding my own anyway, so can't argue. First of all, let's get the detail pack in that. Did I get both bags or just the one? No, just one. Alright, let's have a look in here. Okay, we got vac pipes and steps for, incidentally, the front, I would say. But that really minimizes the curves it can go around. In here, oh, we got tender and locomotive brake rigging. And what's that? Oh, that's a neat little arch thing for the tender. I think so you can put fire irons on it and that. So, let's get it on the layout. Oops, finger over the lens. My bad. It's been such a long time since I did a review, so I'm very rusty. Sorry. But let's get it on the layout and have a better look at it. Okay, and now, thankfully, I have been able to find my camera stand. It was buried under a few tools annoyingly. My bad. So now I can do this hands free. Sweet. So while it's still in its polystyrene, the locomotive alone just looks beautiful. And that gap between the locomotive and tender, that is beautiful right there. So just, whoops, there goes the detail packs. Just have a look at the underside while we have it like this. Tender looks alright. The locomotive, whoa. So the drive from the motor is directly from the rear wheels. Okay, that's pretty cool. Usual oiling points. That front bogie looks beautiful. Wow. Damn. I mean, darn, not an M, it's a screw-on. But the tender is an M, dovetail. And these two are actually joined together permanently. I mean, look at that. That's brilliant. Also explains this tiny gap between the tender and cab. So, carefully put it on the rails. And I can tell you this, folks, it is really heavy. It is really heavy. So, here we go. Oh, lovely, sprung buffers. Sprung buffers, and it's just so really heavy. I mean, it's nuts. Sprung buffers front back. We got NEM coupler on the tender, so that's alright. But I may have to jump to the other side of the camera to do this, but here we go. Let's have a look at the front here. Focus, you silly camera. Beautiful printing of the number and shed plate. Lovely rivet detail. That valve gear looks brilliant. Such a lovely loco. I mean, wow. That's actual metal. So the safety valves are metal. Okay, let's see if we can get a look at the cab. Gonna be hard, but here we go. No. Not in this light. And I couldn't if I tried anyway. Because of the tender. And also, due to the fact the cab detail is not painted, and it's very basic, really. It's very stupidly basic. Oh well. For what I paid for it, though, it's not too bad. And basically, for anyone who wants to know how I got pretty much a close to factory a close to factory original locomotive, untouched, unopened, owned by a silly collector of all people, I only paid 100 New Zealand dollars. So that's about 50 quid right there. 50 quid for a factory fresh locomotive. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Now, of course, I have had it ran in. So, now for the fun bit, seeing how slow it can go. So, if we just get the camera looking right. There we go. Right on the loco. And here we go. Look, hear the motor. Okay. So it's not the smoothest loco. Stuck on the point. Knock did that. Okay, let's try and reverse. Whoops, a little too fast on the speed, but got it over the point, I guess. So slow speed, it's not too bright, but I've had worse. I'll just have it running around the layout a bit. And so we'll see how it's like after that. Whoops. There we go. Sorry about the zoom. I rarely use it, so I'm not used to using it. So let's just send this on its way around the layout and see how it is from there. So that's pretty much the solo run done, but yeah. A couple of issues I've found out about this locomotive that kind of gets on my nerves a little is if you have a bit of track that goes in a sort of a S shape, then the tender joint locks up and it derails the tender, which is highly annoying. What else? Oh yeah. Since the tender is so light, tender running is not really the smartest idea to do. But yeah, a bit of, I don't know, real coal or something like that, even a few extra bits of lead on the inside will probably fix that, no sweat. What else? Oh yes. When you buy a new locomotive, when you do oiling up and that, naturally you get a bit of give but in the axles, so they can go around curves better. Also makes it easier to oil up the bearings. In this locomotive's case, since the motor is in the firebox here, like on my Colic goods, there's literally no flex from these rear sets at all. There's no movement in that set of rods, set of wheels I mean. Purely I think because when they made this locomotive, they did not want the gears to unmesh or something like that. So oiling the rear axle is a pain in the backside, and I'll admit when I got this I did have to fix one or two of the pickups on the locomotive, purely because they were bent well out of shape, which is quite disheartening considering it's supposed to be an as new, untouched locomotive. That was quite insulting, I think, that Bachmann let a locomotive like that slip through their fingers. So shameful, it really is. But might as well give it a good loaded test run, see how powerful this mixed traffic locomotive really is. And for that, I gotta build a train for it now, which means I get to test out my new sidings. Lovely. But I think for the shunters, they're already out, so why not use these two packets. It'll be something interesting to add to the video. Bit of shunting. Let's see how it goes. Okay, took a little longer than I thought, so I skipped the sequence, but the shunting's all done. Got the train sorted. Now it's time to, get this locomotive rolling. I'm not gonna hint at how long the train is, but I'm sure if I can get this camera to work right, you'll be impressed by the length of it. Okay, I'm gonna have to rig up my old camera stand again, so back in a tick, because this is not working. Okay, the end is hooked up to the rake of coaches. Oh, sorry, cars. Pullmans are always called cars for some reason. And since I like pushing my locos to the limit, you'll see how heavy the train is. Bit of wheel slip. That's a solid 10. For an added bit of fun before I cut this video to an end, just having a bit of fun with the Pullmans, the end, and a bit of a couple of projects I worked on recently. So that's the video done and dealt with. But how would I classify this locomotive in a rating? Well, since it's a review, I actually have to start thinking on rating what I review. And though it has some faults, it is still a good locomotive. So I figure out of 10, I would have to give it a good 7. Good solid 7. And as for the 2 packets that are still on the layout, since I've done 2 reviews, 2 different locos, 2 reviews of those, both get a solid 9. I've yet to find a locomotive that hits those double digits, the big 1010. I've yet to find a locomotive that does that. Maybe I'll come across one with the new B2 or the Ruston, if I get my hands on one. But until then, this is Upward and Onwards saying, take care, hope you all do well. Kakitiano.